Okay. Um, yeah, I think most people are using their, well, I don't know what most people are using. I can't see. Yeah. But yeah, really, I mean, for these labs, I mean, it really is not going to do you too much good to dial in over the phone. I mean, it's kind of a waste of time, actually. You're better off just waiting and seeing the video, seeing the recording, because, um, there's not too much you're going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to describe what's going on to you unless you buy a computer. Um, and I realize you didn't sign up for an online class, so I get that part, but kind of is what it is. I didn't foresee this happening. So, um, well, anyway, first thing we want to do is there is a, how do I want to get to this? Um, and I've taken a video of this. I haven't uploaded yet, but I did a video of this last night. So you're going to need a Open SSL client. So there's one for Windows and there's one for Mac. And you don't have to use anyone in particular, but you got Windows. Now, I think the SSL function is kind of built in the Mac, so you can see the instructions of how to get your Mac to do OpenSSL. But because they have it on a secured on a secured um, a secured connection, which uses a certificate, you're gonna need OpenSSL to do what we're doing. Yeah, yeah. So I'm sending Mr. Payne a message. Okay. And so when you install it, I don't know what it does on Mac, but on Windows, it puts it in a directory somewhere on your hard drive. So you'll see it's a zip file, and in the bin, you'll see an executable, a binary, and you just fire that up. I've already fired it up, so I don't want to unzip it again. Um, and then some of you haven't used the 3270 client. So there's videos on how to use a 3270 client to do this lab. And you're going to need to connect to the mainframe with there. And I'm going to give you probably till a week from Sunday to do this because it's a few steps to it, but I really need you to actually communicate with the hypervisor. That's part of learning virtualization is how to talk to a hypervisor. And so what you'll do is, and there are instructions that I will post into the lab that are in the doc. Okay, they're in the doc. The ZPro doc that's on the website. And so you go to demo.velocitysoftware.com. Now they've got it configured to port 992. And your OpenSSL should connect with the certificate that does that. Now, I'll show you what I'm using to do this exercise. I'm using the guest. Again, a guest is just a virtual machine. I'm using the guest where your Ubuntu server resides. So, and what I'm going to show you today is how to turn a Linux server on and off right inside that guest. That's part of the lab also. So And in the video, I show you how you can change your server's, if you forget the server's password, right? You can set it here. Now, this is, now I say server, this is the guest. NCSX 0401 is the guest. Now, how this pertains to what we're doing. The next thing we're going to do after we do some CMS, either Thursday or next week, we're not going to do much because we're running out of time. We only got a few weeks left. The rest of the time is going to be spent with Linux One. Linux One lives on VM. All right, Linux One lives on VM. Linux One is driven by containers, not by virtual machines. So what they do is they create containers that support applications. So you got a container for RHEL, you got a container for SLES, Linux, the distribution. Then you got containers for all the applications that you're going to use. You got a container for MongoDB, you got a container for MariaDB, you got a container for Hadoop, etc. So it's driven by, but it all lives on top of VM, the same operating system that we have now. And I think it's the same version. I think we're using 6.1. Velocity's using 6.1. So, but the guest is NCSX 0401. Now, inside of that guest, you can have one at a time operating systems running. Any operating system that the mainframe supports can run inside that guest. In our case, we're only going to be using two. We're going to be using CMS and we're going to be using Linux. Okay. So, and it's not running. So let's fire it up. Can I log into it if it's not running? I think I can. Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's wake up the server. I think I can log onto it if it's not running. So NC SX 0401 0401. And I can never remember my password, even though it's very simple. Okay. Simple, but it's goofy, so. Oh. Let's try this again. Okay, there we are. Now, it's start. Yeah. So this is what happened. The Linux server wasn't started, right? So now the Linux server is starting. When I fired up the guest wasn't running. The guest was turned off, right? When you log off of a guest, you actually turned off, like you cut the power to it. And when you log on, you turn the power on to it. And so the first thing it does is it remembers the boot sector of the last operating system that it was running. And if it doesn't have anything going on, it says, well, I need to do something. So I'm just going to go back to the boot sector of the last version of Linux that was running. Or last operating, the boot sector of the last operating system that was running. And I'm going to run it. And so James reminded me of a trick that I had forgotten to make it scroll. In the video, I had to do it screen by screen, but he reminded me of the thing. It's a little trick. I used to do this all the time, so I remember how to do it, but I haven't done it in over like a couple of years. So, and the command is cp term more. And you can do this too with yours, when you if you want to start it. One of the things I want to have you do is turn more. I think I only need zero space zero. I think that does it. Otherwise, I got to keep hitting clear. Okay, well, I guess I got to start it. So I thought it was starting, but so this VM read down here means that CMS is running, right? I'm going to stop CMS. Now I'm in CP. See down here at the bottom right, it says CP read. That means that nothing else is running but the hypervisor. Hypervisor is always running, but you know, you don't have to have an operating system running. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the operating system. I'm IPL 200 clear. And let me remember my command that I have to use. CP term more 0 space 0. Okay. So this should start. It says go to volume 200 and run that. And we want to do Ubuntu. Okay, so now the CP term more should run now. Yeah. So I had a character in there for the user. I keep skipping past login. So I'm root. Now I'm logging into Linux. I'm logging into Linux, right? So now Linux is running. And to show Linux is running, let me log into it. I think it's 8022. Yep. Root. So I'm logged into this two places. I'm logged onto it both at PuTTY and via 3270. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, and so here you can talk to Linux from here. And get ifconfig, so I'm talking to Linux. Now, I'm going to stop that. I'm going to say CP stop. That's going to kill Linux. And I know Linux is dead because I have CP read down here. I hit the enter key, right? And if I go to PuTTY and try to log on to it, that server is not running. Nothing, right? Not running. Okay, and so now I'm going to start Linux again. So I'm going to show you what happens when you don't do the term more thing. I'm going to say IPL, and the reason I have to say CP is because this is a CP command. I'm in CP. IPL 200 clear. That's the command to boot Linux. Ubuntu. And because I don't have, I can't find the clear button on here. I have to do it manually. Oh, so yeah, so it's in there. It's in there forever. Okay, good. I only have to do it one time. I forgot about that. So VSI demo. Okay, and stop the hypervisor again. I mean, stop the Linux server. Now, I'm in CP. I'm not in CMS. CMS is the kind of the management tool. If I try to do like a file list command, file L, to list my files, because CP doesn't have a file structure, you can't do it, right? You can't list it. So I'm going to say star space star. Supposed to give me everything. Unknown command. So now I'm going to IPL or CMS. See down here it says VM read. CMS is started now. So CMS is a virtual system server. That allows you to do VM management stuff. So now if I say file L star space star. Now, here's the thing. This is why we can't do some of the things that I wanted to do, particularly with Rex. The only disk that we have that's writable is the disk where the operating system lives. So if we do a QDASD, Q virtual DASD, do a Q disk. Oh, I'm in, yeah, so I can't, yeah. I'm in CMS, it doesn't do that, okay. So you stop CMS the same way that you stop Linux, is you just say CP stop, because I'm in CMS now, I'm not in CP. So I have to say CP stop. And now I see that CMS is stopped and nothing is running with the hypervisor. I'm talking directly to the hypervisor. So now I say Q virtual DASD. And so here are all my disks, right? These are called modes. And usually the mode where we do a lot of our file editing is mini disks. So these are virtual disks. They're called mini disks. These are abstractions of the actual physical disk. These are abstractions of it. These are virtual. And you know, this virtual mini disk can come from, the space on it can come from anywhere. It doesn't have to come from a dedicated volume. It can come from across the board. All of this is logical. And so for us, and I've cloned guests many times. And in your script, it is usually easier, much easier, to just make everything read only because you have to go in and do certain things one by one, or have write a tedious script to do it automatically. Real complicated script, and if you mess it up, you're gonna screw some things up. So that's why usually in quick and dirty cases like this, they make everything read only, right? And so while we can edit files, we can't save them. And there's really no point if we can't, no point in playing around with Rex. We're running out of time anyway, so. But here you see it says 191, 190 is A. 19D is B mode. These are modes over here. Okay. Now the ones you see here that are read write, these are where the operating system lives. And let me do some quick math, right? So 512,000 cylinders. these figures are cylinders, right? And so the way you can calculate how that relates to megabytes is multiplied by 0.85. So 512,000 times 0.85 equals 43 megabytes, right? So that's 43 megabytes. And these are where, now these are probably shared because the one that individual for you is this 200. You see the 200? That's where the boot sector is. And it's read-writable because the operating system has to be able to write to disk to do work. Operating system can't live on something that's read-only. So it has the right to and again, this is all virtual, it's not physical. So that's that. Now we'll step through a couple of things that we can do since we're still in CP. No point in having you do a system reset. So yeah, you can do queue names. And more 60. That's the time it's going to pause. You know, my memory, CP term more 60. Yeah, that should work. That should work. So you see here that you have a screen of text, and these are all the virtual machines that are on the system. And because I don't have a clear screen now, when your screen fills up, if you see either more or holding, if you can figure out how to use your clear screen, you just hit the clear screen. But me, I gotta, because this laptop I have, I can't find the daggum thing, and I just have to do it manually. And so my resolution is a term more 00, which means don't pause at all. But we're gonna leave pausing on now because I never know when I'm gonna need to show you something. And so this virtual machine here apparently does something with TCP/IP. I find VM is just the greatest thing since sliced bread. It really is. I mean, IBM really doesn't realize what it, well, they're starting to, but this is a game changer. And it's been around, you know, forever. But with the advent of cloud computing and the web and analytics, they should be, and they actually are selling machines. Their biggest customer increases are in the VM space, in the Linux space. They're selling Linux-only machines now. And here I am, right? NCSX 0401. And I guess that's the volume where I'm living. Okay, so that's that. We're not going to be able to do anything, well, we're not going to be able to do a lot in, it's going to be a very boiled down lab, but at least I want you to be able to talk to the hypervisor. And we won't be able to do much more in CMS too, but I can show you some things in CMS. Won't do that today though. Indicate shows the resources that you're using. So 99% of resources. What else am I going to have you do? Well, you can send a message. You know, I'm going to send a message to myself. NCSX 0401 I. And I got a message for myself. So, little goofy things. Students used to send themselves all kinds of messages during class. You can look at all of your virtual devices. Q, virtual, all. And I'm gonna have you do all these. It's not gonna be a long lab, and she says holding there. So I go up here, I click clear. And so these are about 5 OSA cards. Okay, and are these virtual? Yeah, these are virtual. These are virtual OSA cards. There are these, there's actually 6 of them. 6 OSA cards. Man, that's a lot. And we can do a Q virtual NIC. Now, looking at this, you know, and then looking at the video that I took last night, should help it burning a little bit. I just want you to, the goal of this demonstration is to just give you a feel. We're not trying to develop any deep proficiency with VM. We're just trying to understand the basics of how it works. CP is the hypervisor, CMS is the management tool. So we've got two NICs, and we have two NICs on two different vSwitches. These vSwitches operate exactly the same as physical switches, except they're virtual. They're configured. People that if you love networking, VM is a tool sent from God himself. You can do all kinds of virtualization, network virtualization with VM. Okay. Now, as I said, there's a benefit to having your own machine. When I taught this class and I had the Z9 up and running, because I had 18 physical processors, I could give the guests as many CPUs, virtual CPUs, as I want. I would give them, you know, at minimum 4 CPUs so that they could play around with them. But here we only have one. So we're going to query virtual CPU. There's only one. Now, if I had one, usually when you have more than one, you start out with one and you increase it as needed. But if I want to add one to it, I would say define CPU, the next number in line 01, but I don't have one, right? So again, benefit to having your own machine. Let's see how much virtual storage we have. Q virtual storage. A gig, which is, you know, which is okay for our purposes. And I think they actually increased that. It used to be half a gig. Used to be half a gig. Let me see. And then, you know, if you have more, let's say when you do a profile, we won't have time to do this, but there's a profile that defines all these guests. So what you do is you say what the maximum amount of resources that guest is going to have and what you're starting out with. So let's say I start out with, I allow it to have up to 20 gigabytes of storage, but I start out with 5. And then I would use some language to define virtual storage. So I would, just like with CPUs, I would say define virtual storage 2 gigabytes. Click on more. Did I have that syntax right? Oh, define storage. Yeah, so yeah, you can see that it exceeds the maximum amount. So that, I think that's going to be about it for what we can do, given, you know, because we had multiple mini discs before. I used to have them linked to mini disc. They would share one. We'd have a shared mini disc, but because, you know, I didn't do this configuration, we're somewhat limited. And I'll speak with him about this before I teach this class again. I'm looking through the lab, see if there's anything else I need to cover. So let me see if I can find the name of the network that we're on. I'm going to do Q virtual host. Does it give me the network name? Subchannel, virtual chip ID, subchannel. Yeah, no, I don't think the network name is on here. Name of the network. I'll try to find that, but there's a way to see all the things that are connected to that LAN. But I'll ask them for the name of the network. I probably can find it in a profile somewhere, but I mean, I have limited admin rights on this system, so you know, there's only so much I'm going to be able to do. And I don't blame him for that. What's IMPCP? Okay, so now let me see if I can go back to Linux just by saying begin instead of rebooting. I'm in CMS. Oh, I know what it was. It brought me back to CMS because that's where I was. Yeah, that's the last server that I logged off. I think that's showed you how to do the SSL. Showed you how to get into the 3270 client. Showed you how to start and stop a server. I'm thinking to make sure that there's nothing else that I need to do. Yeah, I'll open up for questions. Are there any questions that come to mind? Because you can view this video, and then there's also the one that I've got to upload. The videos in Zoom are just huge, so I'll probably put it on YouTube and put a link to it. Let me see if James responded to my email about the read write. No. Okay. Well, I'll get this lab out to you guys tonight, and yeah, I apologize for the ragged part of this semester, but I think we'll be okay. We're going to do, so the path forward is going to be a CP lab, a CMS lab, and then Linux 1. And we're going to build LAMP servers and maybe, build some simple PHP code or something. You guys can use Python. My Python is not, I know PHP a lot better. I don't know Python, so just have you do some simple data access things. But the virtual machines in Linux 1 are much more robust. So that's what we're going to do after we do the CMS labs. Any questions? Okay, I want to thank so many of you coming out. We had pretty much a full house tonight. Anybody seen Malachi Glass?
Nope.
Yeah, no, I'm concerned. Keep the brother in your prayers. He's going through some things, personal challenges. I think we can all relate to personal challenges. Did I have my video off the whole time? I meant for you guys to see me for moral support.
Yeah, it's on video.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm well. I'm back home now. Got out of rehab Friday, and lifestyle changes. No more Jack Daniels, no more Swisher Sweets. Low fat diet, heart health. I've dropped about 14 pounds last 3 weeks. I just got to do what they tell me to do. But I feel good. My walking's still unsteady, but it's better. It's better now with physical therapy. It's better than the last time you guys saw me when I was staggering all around. Still staggering a little bit, but I'm moving slow. I'm well. I'm well. Appreciate all your well wishes. We'll be okay. I want everybody, even though the department may go through some upheavals, I want you guys to stay focused. You guys are on the cusp of greatness. Okay, cusp of greatness. Did you guys get the thing about the IBM thing in Raleigh? I think it is the 18th of this month. Did you guys get that? I know I sent it to everybody. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Because stuff like that I send to everybody. Well, you might want to see if you can attend that because there's going to be some people there. But you guys are in very, very good shape. Anybody send go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Are they gonna be providing transportation for that?
What do you think? It's IBM. It's corporate America, man. What do you think?
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like last time.
Oh, you mean the IBM day at Research Triangle Park?
Open source. Yeah, the open source.
Yeah. No. This is not that elaborate. Okay. Yeah. That was just for A&T. Okay. That was just for A&T. That's what that was. Yeah. And that was great. That was great. I wish more of our students had participated in it, but we had some, and we had some people that got interviewed. Got one guy that may get a job. Guy in my mainframe class, he may get a job out of that. But they interviewed about 20 people that day.
Okay.
But that was just for no. This is an industry thing, and I want you guys, those of you that can make it, there's no cost to go other than your gas, and there's food. So if you register, yeah, they'll feed you, but it's not transportation. Now, if I'm going, I'll let somebody know. I'm probably going to go. If I got room, I'll send out an email to everybody, and I can take. I think I can take 4 in my. I got a RAV4. I think I can take 4 in that. Be glad to take you guys, but we need to hobnob with industry. We do a good bit of it. You guys are pretty good. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm very proud. I give you guys a hard time. That's because you're young and some of you are knuckleheads, but you guys are good. You guys are really good. These companies are not coming around because of me. They're coming around because of you. Right? They're coming around because of you. Because when they hire A&T students get the job done. So now, no matter what goes on with the department, myself, any of the other professors, whatever happens, stay focused. IT is a good space to be in. You guys are getting good exposure. We're training you the best we can to get in the game, and you'll be fine. I'm not going to go on and on. You're young people. I want to go out and ride around a little bit before the sun goes down, and enjoy kind of the night air. Thank you, Salim. I appreciate it. Thank you, Vafi. Thank you, Sakani. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, Mr. Davis. I mispronounce your first name all the time, so I'm not gonna try that anymore. I always mispronounce it. But I really, you guys are great. It's an honor to work with you guys, and I'm doing the best job I can for you because you guys deserve nothing less. You come from, some of you come from a mighty long way. I want you guys to keep Malachi in your thoughts and prayers. It's not crisis. I'm not all in his business or anything. It's just that, he has come up. I haven't heard from him. So I don't think he's in any danger or anything. And I don't want anybody to go say that I was, exposing his business because I don't know anything about his business. But, I know you guys struggle with life issues. A lot of us do. I know I'm struggling with life issues. the primary one is trying to stay alive. But I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you coming to A&T, and I appreciate you signing up for this class because you had no idea what it was going to be, and it was very ragged. But hopefully you can get something out of it, and we're going to try to end up the semester with a bang. So with that, I'm going to bid you guys a good evening, and God willing, we'll be back here Thursday, and I'm going to post the lab probably before midnight. Please take care of yourselves.